Las Meninas flew through the air, with square frames and square dresses singed in the lapping heat, through the threshold of a square window, landing in the grass on a cold December 24th, the air cutting a stark division between two extremes, like the Manzanares River cutting through the eastern Alcazar and the approach of rehistory. Gold flowed in waves and dried in yellow-green clumps, merging into the binding of a 4-day blaze and a 9-year war. The embers sizzled in the seat of power, and the Fitzes of William and Gerald stumbled into docks and ports and along arteries to the centre. Green steps on foreign streets, tattered cloaks caught in loose nails in doorways, whose grain smiled or sneered depending on the light. Big Red fell in Valladolid. Most clung to the shore. Drenched moss on angular rocks, the wind will settle. This is the wild geese flying. A man falls on church steps, felled by an enemy's blade, jostling for space in the throng, adding to the miseries of a man who was besieged, harassed, who wondered. Pale faces around the palace, and a writer arrested by their beauty. New seeds scatter in the gale, and the daughters and sons speak to the host like the host. Continental is a word said in 2 languages. It is one mindset, echoing through the streets, every touch of boot on cobble affirming it. Green eyes hibernating in a tall tower. Open wide and look at me across the sea. Share your realm. Myth becomes mist around the sight. Time blinked in an eternal moment. Bears and books found their space, where pages roar and animals run to cover. Down the spine, status, power, position, migrating, seeking refuge, finding their voice. This is the wild geese landing. A land of saints and scholars planted in a narrow alley. Inside, the raising of the fork and the lowering of the head in slumber was carefully controlled. Outside, red-nosed drunks fought and urinated on the walls, making a moat around the stone structure of a college. In the desert now, the devil taunts and tempts. A king pushed and the people pulled. On one side of the courtyard, pale men fingered the harp haughtily. On the other, figures juggled 3 crowns, the gold shining with a rebellious glint. A red hand shouted stop, and the eagle thrown up by the dust settled into a fist. Went inkwells, straightened pages, stained glass. Sooner or later, spiraling knowledge pulled them into an orbit, a path. Heavenly. A relic remains on a corner wall, a little street sign containing multitudes. This is the wild geese nesting. The man from the southwest sat in supposed sin, bringing the fate to bars and wood-beamed corners, rubbing shoulders with those who dance with bulls or the indecent who lose themselves in the world of theatre, where dust rising from the stage and expectant faces always loomed large. Factory workers were weighed and measured. Only the pure, the believer, could spin thread. The money men sensed opportunity in the air, barging both priest and private to the back alleys. Smugglers raised flags of any nation with the hope of raising no alarm, and the world became smaller as islands of families reached across continents and shared in the good word. They lie now, all of them, to a man, a woman, under altars and in alcoves, in churches closed off between sermons from non-Latin speaking interlocutors of Christ, on streets that move around them. This is the wild geese resting.